Hey, this is Pray Love again, and there's a fragrance review just waiting for you right now. So, this review is about this other acquisition that I had today, Club de Nuit Intense pour Homme. Now, I'm going to do as much that as also comparing it to Aventus and Montblanc Explorer. Just because, as some of you may know, or not, but probably yes you do, this thing is a clone of Aventus. It is meant to be a clone of Aventus, and it is used as a clone of Aventus. Now, what's up with the name? I don't know, but it's nice. I'm gonna do since it's still another fragrance, I'm still gonna do a full review of that. But most of the review will be comparing it to this freshly sprayed Aventus, and here Montblanc Explorer. So I have already said that I kind of prefer Montblanc Explorer to Aventus, but it's more because I don't see that kind of smell as that super high class. If I was to get something high class, I'd get in fact, I have things that are more high class, that are like Néroli Outre Noir, Mon Précieux Nectar from Guerlain. And there's also these super great L'Artisan Parfumeur, these super great Amouage, whatever. Creed is not a house that I really appreciate, because I think they have like inflated prices for a quality that is very great, but scents that are pretty forgettable, in my opinion, even though they're really good. Like Aventus is a masterpiece and its DNA is great, but it says something when it's so easily cloned by other fragrance houses. And why pay full price, like $800, for something that you can acquire for $40? Anyway, is it that close? This is a mystery that I want to elucidate with you today. But like I said, I wanted to do a review of also like the bottle. It's actually very good looking. You know, there's all this medallion and stuff. I think clicks well, but it's very hard to get like really well in place. The atomizer, all black here on this batch, and very good atomizer. For something that is considered so cheap, it's pretty well made. It's glass. The smell is like at first a bit acidic, but turns out mellow and musky, just like this amazing masterpiece that is Aventus. Smoky, it's a bit more smoky, I think, than Aventus, but anyway. It is not something that is very smooth, it's very harsh. The opening is very harsh. And it's lemon instead of pineapple in Aventus, but lemon is way more harsh than pineapple. But overall, very nice bottle. The scent, super good, you know. Kind of like, it smells a bit like Aventus, but it's really good. Citrusy, warm with the musk, nice base notes, smokiness with kind of in Aventus it's birch tree. I don't know, like it's a lot more synthetic here, so it's less easy to locate what notes they are. But it smells good. But I made smell like the opening to my roommate, and she was like, oh, and yes, it is very harsh, but it settles down. It's the kind of scent that you put on before going out, when you're like alone or with your gang of people that can handle that harsh smell, and you leave like when the time you leave, it has mellowed down and it's killer. It smells really good. Sometimes like there's these fragrances that you must learn to appreciate the opening, a bit like Amen, where a lot of people are turned down by the opening, but it mellows down and gets oriental, synthetic, very nice vibe. And mostly on synthetic fragrances, it seems that they're based off like punching and just getting somewhere, and that somewhere is really nice, and that's the aim. And yes, you want to spend that like first hour alone maybe, and then the magic is gonna happen. Or half an hour, I'm exaggerating a bit for the hour, complete hour, but then I sprayed it. I said freshly sprayed, but it's not that fresh, and that's why I wanted to see the mellowing of Club de Nuit Intense versus the mellowing of each other fragrances. They have been sprayed pretty much all at the same time. I think Club de Nuit Intense was sprayed a bit before, so they have this disadvantage via the other one. But it's sprayed from the bottle, so it might go stronger. Anyway, I'm just gonna evaluate the scent and say what I have to say. So first, let's check out Aventus. Yes, Aventus has this leafy, like woodsy thing going on with the smokiness and the gorgeous musk, and that's my favorite note in Aventus. It's the musk. Some people they really like that pineapple thing, but it disappears quite rapidly. So, but I like the acidic thing that it gives throughout the whole fragrance. But I really like that musk. It's the thing that I really like about Aventus. Alright, so Aventus is pretty mellow. It's not aggressive at all. It's very soft. Let's get Montblanc Explorer. Oh yeah, Montblanc Explorer has like this clear, more like Ambroxan type of scent that has more kick, and still that musky undertone that we all like. It's pretty sweet. The fruits are like that have mellowed down super nicely. Montblanc Explorer is really nice. The projection for something that both have been taken the same amount and at the same time, the projection is better on Explorer right now. And what about the new boy in the house sprayed a bit before? Oh, there's even more of that like woodsy smokiness, like birch tree that they say. A lot more lemony, a lot more acidic, citrusy. Still that super gorgeous musk. Do I prefer that to Aventus? I just wonder. Okay, what I'm going to say is going to be controversial. Although Club de Nuit Intense really smells cheaper, like when you put them side by side, it's like it smells kind of cheap, you know? And Aventus really smells perfect and delicate. But I kind of prefer the vibe for Club de Nuit Intense. The reason is, I think that this DNA is like at its maximum potential probably with something that is cheaper. It's, to put it quite simply, I think that it's a kind of party fragrance that elegant Aventus original version is maybe like party killer a bit, like it tones down the party element. This one is like, you smell that, you're like, yeah, we're at a party, you know, we're at a club and it's nice, you know, and it's been sprayed a lot before, and it projects a lot, you know. That one Aventus projects too, Montblanc Explorer projects too. They're all like party projectors. Oh, but the smokiness and the musk, it's spot on. I mean, it's very, very good. I think my favorite is still probably Montblanc Explorer. The Ambroxan is very like flagrant, super nice, more bass. It's cool. I won't buy Montblanc Explorer for the evident reason that I have Club de Nuit Intense for Man. So why get another Aventus ish fragrance? And I'm certainly not gonna get Aventus. It seems that every time I smell Aventus, I'm like, it's incredible, and every time I wear it, I'm like, oh my god, it's good. But I'm always like, yes, but there lacks that little party spirit that should be there with, for what I think it should be there in those kinds of fragrances. I think it's more like clubbing fragrances, like Club de Nuit Intense is like very clearly one. But Aventus is kind of like in between chairs, you know. And I really do think that mostly when you buy Creed fragrances, you're buying the name, you're not buying the actual fragrance. Like almost every fragrance that they make have like some clone or some alternatives that are a lot cheaper and a lot better too. Whereas if you get Guerlain, there's not much super good alternatives to them. Like the high-end Guerlain fragrances, their composition is very meticulously done with very precise ingredients. It cannot be done again, and it's never done again. It's like even the most like popular ones are, I mean, their basic lines, like their cheaper lines have been copied a lot. We say the cheaper Chalimard, the cheaper versions of Habit Rouge and L'Instant and everything have been copied too, but there's all these like L'Art et la Matière line and stuff. Some are very popular, like in the fragrance realm. Tonka Imperial was very popular. Some people tried to do clones of that one. I've smelled like others that says, oh, this is quite like Tonka Imperial, but it never got it right. It was almost a completely disaster. But the Creed fragrances, you name one Creed fragrances, you have like dozens of not just duplicates, but sometimes just alternatives that are very different but very good. And that says something about the fact that it's more a branding than an actual the actual result. And a lot of people who buy it, and I'm sure that there's people who buy it out of real love for those fragrances because they are so well made. And I am not there to critique the incredible quality of the Creed fragrances and the incredible quality of the ingredients that they use. It's not that I'm criticizing, it's the whole marketing with the like over intense price. And I'm sure that some of you that own Creed fragrances are for the real love out of those fragrances. The problem is all those people that they buy it out of social status. And if you're about to wear a Creed fragrance for social status because you don't know anything about fragrances, you should try to get more into different fragrances and see which one is better. Because for real, this is controversial too. And it's an opinion that I've heard from a lot of other reviewers, from a lot of other people. If you take 3 people and you put them in a room full of other people, these 3 people were Montblanc Explorer, Club de Nuit Intense, and Aventus. If someone only meets one of them, like if everyone only meets one of those 3 people, they'll think that they all were Aventus. If they see all 3 people but at different times, they all think they're gonna be wearing the same exact fragrance. Very probably, most people will think it's the same fragrance. And if you take and if you smell them side by side, then you'll be like, oh yes, this one smells more expensive. It's Aventus because it's more natural. This one smells more pungent and acidic. This must be Club de Nuit Intense, which is the cheaper one. And this one smells like in between, more designer with Ambroxan. This is Montblanc Explorer. But in general, will you really like know the difference between each of them? There's no way you can know. Even someone like me who like smells fragrances all the time and thinks of all the differences, I'd probably like if you were saying, oh, I'm wearing Aventus and you're wearing Club de Nuit Intense, I would be like, ah, yes, this is Aventus. Like, I wouldn't think otherwise. And I've heard like one of the biggest fan of Aventus, Jeremy Fragrance, say the exact same thing. He says, I'm not a fan of the clone fragrances and stuff, but it's really good, and I don't think I'd make any difference between the two. And he's like is a sommelier in the world of Aventus. So this was supposed to be just about Club de Nuit Intense, but it's also about Aventus. But Club de Nuit Intense is actually very, very good on its own sake. You know, I think I will wear that fragrance. It's very good, and it seems to project and have longevity and stuff. It looks like that. Very, very good. I would like recommend if you have difficulty deciding between Club de Nuit Intense and Montblanc Explorer, which is just there. I would say that the safer bet is clearly Montblanc Explorer. It's I think it's a more well done, well-rounded fragrance, and also it's far easier to find in samples, but it's not as cheap as Club de Nuit Intense. But for real, Club de Nuit Intense is really good. And where do I put Atelier Cologne, Musc Impérial in that? I think that's going to remain my favorite. It's very elegant and nice. But still, if you want to party with an Aventus-like fragrance, Club de Nuit Intense for man, incredible. And for women like that, like all you women there, all transgender people, all people everywhere, if you like Aventus, but you're more into party, Club de Nuit Intense for man. Is it for man? No, never. No fragrances are for man or for women. No. These concepts should be kind of abolished. Nonetheless, little boys out there, little party guys, Club de Nuit Intense. Party girls, Club de Nuit Intense. Party non-binary, Club de Nuit Intense. It's very good. That being said, spread love. Spread love.